my brothers and sisters. On this, our 8th movie review and spoilercast in the GMGU. And if you didn't know, that's for the Good Morning Guys universe. We are a podcast that in this very morning is talking about the next installment in the MCU, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3. We are so thankful, joiners, that you are joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we discuss the movies we love to watch and the stories that inspire and amaze us. I am your host tonight, the Brazilian of the Galaxy and transition ravager, Lucas Ham Swisher. Also with me and next to me, to my left and right, the judge, jury, and executioner of the perfectly evolved society, Patrick Novacell.
I am the high evolutionary.
Yes, you are. The high Novazellery. Never mind.
High evolutionary is a awesome name, by the way.
It really is. Like, what's your first name? Hi.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Hello.
We're using our
And what
fake names
last
now.
name? Evolutionary. But yeah, that's it. That's just the two. Just the two of us. We can rate and review it if we try. Just the two of us.
You and I.
Wow. That was nice. All right, so we're going to jump right in.
You didn't like that? What?
It was okay.
Let me do it over.
Okay, do it again. Okay, go ahead.
You and I.
No, you didn't do it right. It's like this.
You and I.
You and I.
You and I,
The We Rises. All right. Anyways, spoiler-free review is in another episode, so if you want to hear that, go listen to it if you haven't already.
Episode 244 of the Good Morning Guys podcast.
That's right. What's it going to be called?
You're gonna on the spot right now.
Yeah. What do you got? Did you write down ideas?
I did.
What could it be called?
The Ritz.
Oh, the Ritz. I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 244, the Ritz.
Is that the only option?
Crackers.
The Ritz crackers. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
The Ritz Cracker House. All right, so we're just going to jump right in. So, spoilers.
Yeah.
Full disclosure of all aspects of this movie, what we loved, what we liked, what we were disgusted by. I can't wait to just lay it all out for you. I did not share my rating in the spoiler-free review, but I want to wait. We're going to put a pin in it. We're going to talk about it first and just do the reviews at the end.
All right. Okay.
Give a number to it. See if maybe your number will change by the end, or mine will, even though you don't know what mine is. So, Patrick, you found this movie to be hilarious. You did talk about that.
Yes.
Dish it out. Tell us about the hilarity. What did you like? What did you love? What made you laugh the hardest in this movie?
I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy, they play off of each other so well. I mean, they're like a family where they can rag on each other but still love each other. There's the point, one of the points in the movie that I found hilarious, where Gamora and Gamora and the Mantis, they're talking about how dumb and stupid Drax is, and he's like, I don't think I like this conversation.
It's Nebula and Mantis.
Nebula and Mantis?
Yes,
that's right. Nebula and Mantis. And they were just saying how stupid Drax was, and he's like, I don't think I like this conversation, and she just like tells him to forget everything, and then he just starts laughing again about the conversation that they had previously, and then just starts running over to the kids. Like, it was those small moments like that, or just stupid, weird, hilarious moments where they're just gonna go fly into a living organism planet. Like, what?
Oh, that planet, that Biocorp or whatever, was the grossest looking space station ever. It looked like a huge pink booger. And spiraled booger. Like, it was just like, and they're like stepping on it, and
they're like, you know what? Let's just live in that.
Yeah, why not? And and I love how they went in wearing Teletubby outfits. Like, they were all different colors, Teletubbies. Like, one's blue, one's yellow, one's green. Drax is like, I don't like how this contrasts with my skin tones. Like, just like totally not wanting to wear the red suit, which matches his red scars, like, on his face.
And I tell you what, speaking of those suits in that scene in that planet, when Nathan Fillion shows up,
dude,
Nathan Fillion is Nathan Drake. Fight me to the death on that. But Nathan Fillion
treasure.
is hilarious. He was Nathan Fillion, his character, what he does, and everything that he
played
does.
Himself.
It was perfect.
He played Castle. He played.
I know. I was watching it with my daughter. She's like, "Hey, is that Castle?" And I was like, "That is Castle."
Yeah, for sure. And like so at the beginning when they show, the names that are in the movie when they're introducing the movie, and I saw Nathan Fillion, I just leaned over to Mindy. I was like, "Oh, Nathan Fillion's in this." I'm like, "Wait, was he in others? Like, was he a voice or something?"
I don't think so.
I don't think so. This was his debut, so that was fun to see him in that. Let me tell you, the suits they wore, like big pink baby suits. Like, I don't even know what they were. The stupidest looking suits, but they made me laugh so hard. Because they were just huge and poofy, and they had little rocket boosters on them, and I did not understand the reason for the.
They were like the Power Rangers. That's what they looked like. They looked like big poofy Power Rangers.
Big poofy Power Rangers. I didn't think about going there.
Yeah, and then red means green, yellow means yellow, but orange means red. And
oh yeah, well that's different. I wasn't talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy. I was talking about the guards of the gross spiral planet. Yeah. They're like
they were big, huge Michelin Man bubble suits.
That's what it was, like a fleshy Michelin Man suit, like so weird. I was like, why would you think that's a good idea to wear that? Like, how does that make you menacing? Because they're like setting up the heist, and they're like, and then this is the deadly security force in all of space land. I don't know, like it was very funny,
and the conversation that Nathan Fillion's character and Peter Quill had about having a dumb member in their group. He's like, I got one of those. Yeah,
it's like I didn't understand. Shut up, idiot.
This one I like. This
one's good. He's the best. Yeah, there were the conversations over and over.
Yeah,
I think that just the contrast though, or the jump from like the silly moments to the serious moments to the moments where I feel like this movie was the most I felt like characters were going to die over and over again. Like they started hardcore within, what was it, the first 5 minutes when Adam Warlock of the Sovereign joins and just starts beating up the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like he's got like super laser beam hands, and he's like shooting everyone. He destroys Groot down to a head and little spider legs.
Little tentacles, yeah.
Little tentacle legs. And I'm just like, what in the world is happening?
We're going back to him figuring out how to grow again. And then next scene, he's back to normal.
Yeah, he's back to normal. He grows. He's got super growth power now. He's just developed. He's getting some kind of Miracle Grow. Grow. He's like taking Miracle Grow boosters, enhancers. That's how he's so poofy. Like, I'm pretty sure
he bulked up for this.
He bulked up for the holiday special and this. I'm pretty sure they used Vin Diesel's actual body to base Groot's body. Like, there were a number of times, even when he talked, he had Vin Diesel's voice. Like, this is the first time the most ever, where it just sounded like finally he gets paid to actually sound like himself, which was kind of weird at times.
I heard that Vin Diesel was going to get fired from this movie because he kept forgetting his lines.
Well, I mean, it's pretty tough when we are Groot, I am Groot. Actually, what did you think of him saying "I love you guys"?
That was dumb. That was so dumb.
I was like, really? I love you guys.
I was like, wait a second. Can he talk? Because that was like, it wasn't like he struggled to get "I love you guys" out. It was plain as day, so clear. I love you guys, and I'm like, so can he talk, or does he choose not to? Like, it was just came out of nowhere, and it's not like he struggled to get that out the entire movie or the entire series or the entire universe. He just says it. And I'm like, that's so,
and they act like it's normal. They're just like, I love you too. Yeah, like, what? We're just going to glaze over this? Like, not a big deal. He just said, I love you guys.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
But then again, a lot of the stuff in this movie, I'm just like, just move on.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like, bam, bam, bam. It was a quick pace. And as is usually the case for the Guardians movies. But yeah, I think the We Are Groot had more of an impact than I love you guys. That's my favorite. One of my favorite Groot moments is We Are Groot. Like that from the first movie always hits me in the feels.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting hit in the feels, we got to talk about Rocket Raccoon's journey. Wow.
So, man,
maybe now my favorite Guardians character with this backstory
getting
and
that
everything
backstory
that went into it.
It was just like I love origin stories. I love seeing where people come from to where they are now, because it gives me more of an understanding of their motivations, who they are, why they act the way they are, and getting that from Rocket and how rough it was for him, being in a cage with friends that he developed while he was in the cages
with totally jacked up, like Toy Story 1 weird looking toys, messed up, gross friends. Like,
the spider robot otter.
Yeah, the spider leg rabbit with the chomper metal bit in front of his face. Like, what is happening? And it's
like the hippo in a wheelchair.
Now he was like, "Hey, buddy!" Like he was he waving at him. Did you notice he had like little metal things over his eyes to like force them open? I was like, yeah, so gross looking.
Yeah. But I loved like their relationship together, and where it blossomed, so cute. And they started to come up with their own names.
Yeah,
how Rocket, and then the bunny was like Floor.
Laying on the floor.
Like, you're lying on the floor, so your name's Floor, and it's like, yeah.
All right, Floor. If you say so. And you start with the otter, the otter is the most normal of the group, and she's like, I want to be called Lila. And I'm like, that's nice.
That's nice.
And then Teefs, because I have big teeths. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, did he say teeths or teeth?
He said teeths.
Yeah, he said teeths for sure. And then Floor.
Yeah. It was, just seeing what he was with a bunch of little raccoons in that cage at the beginning, and the raccoons, my dog looks like Rocket Raccoon, and I call her my little Rocket, because she has that look of her. And so when Rocket was a little raccoon, baby raccoon, reminded me so much of my puppy. And so not only was this an emotional thing of emotional storyline, but I've had a little personal connection with the way my dog looks, with what raccoon looks like, or with Rocket looks like. So I had like a little deeper emotional connection to all that. But man, it was just, I thought Rocket was gonna die. Like he was gonna come, like I thought he was gonna come back and he was gonna choose to die or something like that. I didn't think he was gonna live.
And he kind of did. Like he did choose to die, because after they take you through the journey of the backstory, and they finally, the whole story is revolving around saving Rocket, because at the beginning, Adam Warlock, the most powerful created being of the Star Sovereign, the gold people that they, they made angry in the second Guardians movie. He comes and wrecks, like we were saying, he wrecks shop with the Guardians, like slams Nebula into the ground, grinds Groot down to a head with legs, and just zaps Rocket in the chest and puts him into like cardiac arrest. And they try to resuscitate him, and they find out that his hardware, the mechanical part of his body that makes him sentient and everything is, what is the word? It's proprietary. So you can't mess with it. They need a code in order to work around it and actually heal him. And so the whole movie is about getting the code, finding out Rocket's backstory, and meeting the High Evolutionary, who was his creator. And so once you go through like that whole backstory, and then you're brought up to speed, and he's about to be resuscitated or die. And this was the part that hit me the hardest, is his conversation with Lila in pretty much what's like limbo between death and life, like where he's like, it's in a white, they're surrounded by white light, and he's like, I'm ready, I want to join you. And she's like, you can, but not yet, you still have a purpose. And what a conversation. Like it just hit me. And I'm gonna be honest, like this is something I do with pretty much every movie, is I find the message that runs deeper, and that hits not just specifically to the movie, but is it has a deeper message that I feel like, God, or, I learned through the Bible or through my faith. And this was like another moment where I just heard God reminding me, Lucas, you have a purpose. And, just really, it just spoke to me on a deeper level when Rocket was going through that. And it just hit me. Like, it just hit me in a good way. Like, I really appreciated he stops and he's like, okay, you're right. And then he goes back and he serves he fulfills his purpose. And, spoilers to the end, he becomes the new leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's just a great story with Rocket. I love it.
It is. And I love how focused the storyline was for this. It was like they need to get a code, and that's what the movie is. They're going to find the code. Yep. And it's not something so grandiose, so convoluted. There's like 16 storylines going on at once. No, this was the storyline. And I loved how focused it was, because we've seen Marvel movies in the past where there's just too much. They have they have a Marvel movie, but they bring in like 7 other characters from other movies and other franchises that like bring it in and try to make it like a mini Avengers movie or something like that.
Yeah.
This was just a Guardians movie, and I loved how focused it was. It kept the story going forward in terms of it wanted to keep you interested in, or keep you emotionally attached to a Rocket.
It achieved it.
It did
in spades.
It didn't pull you away and try to tell you another storyline. Everything that they did was because of what Rocket was going through. And it was just, that was rough when they brought Rocket on the ship and he like flatlines and Peter
and
just
it was like he was gonna die.
Yells in like just anguish,
agony,
and my goodness, like it was. I felt that scream. I felt it. It was so. It felt so real. It was a very emotional, very heartfelt, very tough moment. And Peter's like, no, this isn't the way he's gonna die. And Gamora's like, no, he's gone, and just takes off that med pack and starts pushing and doing CPR on Rocket. Like, as much as they have been, butting heads in the entire universe, entire cinematic universe, just seeing them like, just breaking it down to the emotions of, where they have their differences, but
they're family.
They love each other, and
it's all about family.
That it's always about family. It's I thought that moment was a really, really rough moment, but it lends itself to being a great moment because of how real it felt.
Yeah. And in that, in that whole aspect of Rocket's storyline, we meet the villain of the movie, who's the High Evolutionary, who's the one that created him and wants to make a perfect society.
Yeah.
Like you said, I kind of appreciated that it wasn't a bad guy that was like, let's take over the world, let's take over the universe. It's a guy that he just had in his mind what the perfect society should look like, and he wanted to create it. And he didn't care who he destroyed, who he used and abused in order to reach that. And thankfully, he got what was coming to him. What did you think of High Evolutionary as a villain?
I love when they have just they give a little background to the motivations for the villain. And I was like, it's not like he was, like you said, he was not trying to take over the universe or anything like that. He was just trying to perfect what Earth had and just all the limitations and things like that. I really appreciated that. And the way that they portrayed and gave, they like humanized all of the animals that he was kind of creating into people,
right? At one point, when they put the turtle in that chamber and they were like, we're going to evolve it super fast, I'm like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, let's go. Let's go. I thought they were going to make some kind of reference, but I was like, I don't think
Reptar
Disney.
than anything else.
No, yeah. I was like, does Disney own Ninja Turtles? I don't think so. So I don't think they can do anything. But man, it was close.
Yeah, and then they just incinerate them. Like, and it was just like, it was rough. It was rough to watch just all all these animals just being, just created or, just roboticized and just and then they kill them and it was rough.
Yeah.
And so just, it made me hate the high
Oh yeah,
evolutionary
for sure.
100%. And then
by the end, you were like, "Yep, take him out."
And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to start over. And then he just obliterates the entire planet of everything that he's created. All these, quote unquote people that were on there living lives, just gone, just totally gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was a formidable foe. But then again, he was just a human robot basically, because they tore off his face, which was gross.
That was another gross part.
Disgusting.
Man, when they peeled off his face and showed what Rocket had done to him when he went off on him, I'm like, ugh. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you would have applied some like triple antibiotic, that would have healed up way better instead of just layering another mask on.
Where did he get that mask?
I don't know. He made it, I guess. He grew it and then he put it on his face. It puts on the lotion. Yeah, and it was a very Hannibal Lecter mask. Like that's what it gave me, Hannibal Lecter vibes.
Yeah.
That was a gross moment where he's just looking at him like with his eyeball hanging out and his jaw half open.
Yeah.
But the other thing that grossed me out were his, what do they call them? The Hellions or the Hellspawn, or I don't know, like the final wave of creatures that he released for them to fight.
Yeah, it was like the
it was like
the gross version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. Those two villains, but like evil, gross robots.
It was like I don't know, like animals mixed together, like octopus, half octopus head, half
like chicken
dog,
police, but
like covered in boogers, like just covered in boogers and vomit. Like, it was just like they were gross, man.
Yeah, they were.
Then I was glad when they just took them all out. Like another storyline that I thought was cute and didn't get. I think they showed just enough of it just to, give some other screen time to some other characters to develop, was Cosmo and Kraglin.
Oh my gosh.
Of Cosmo and Kraglin?
I felt so bad for Cosmo when he called him a bad boy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, or bad dog.
Yeah, bad dog.
I was like, she's like, take it back. Take it back.
Yeah, take it back.
I was like, oh,
just say she's a good. Yeah, I keep forgetting because the video game Cosmo's a boy dog.
Yeah.
And in this one they made Cosmo a girl dog, which is fine. It doesn't matter either way. Right. But it's hard to like switch gears. But yeah, I love Cosmo in this. She was great. She was integral to the story and using her whatever the mind powers,
cosmic powers of sorts.
But yeah, that was kind of a funny ongoing gag of just wanting to be called a good dog and then getting called right at the end. Good dog. That was a great moment where Kraglin called her a good dog.
Good.
And then she just like obliterated that gross booger animal alien with the rocks, with the concrete or whatever.
When that like just sandwiched that guy with the concrete blocks. Oh,
that was satisfying.
Yeah.
And then when he figured out his arrow powers using the whistle, that was
it was a good moment. It was a good.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
You knew it was coming, but you were happy, like you were psyched when it did.
Right.
I mean, he couldn't figure it out for nothing. And then they brought back, for his moment of triumph, they brought back temporarily Yondu.
Oh, that was cool.
And Follow Your Heart. Like, just seeing Yondu was just super nice. And we had just watched the earlier that, we watched it on Sunday, but earlier on Sunday, I had read that you needed to watch the holiday special, and we hadn't watched it yet. So we quickly watched it. Yeah. What a nice, heartfelt little
little show. Part of the MCU.
But
definitely
it was nice.
Yeah. But yeah, moving towards the end, when they're all jumping off the ship into the other ship and getting all the kids off, and that whole moment where Drax, as I had mentioned before, where Drax was stupid, but then all of a sudden he starts speaking their language. Yeah. And they're like, how do you know their language?
Yup.
Yeah, the dweeb or doop or
doop. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was just that's all they said. But then he speaks their language, and they're like, how come you didn't tell us you spoke their language? He's like, you didn't ask. Like, of course, Drax.
Yeah.
but they get all the kids. They're all jumping off, and Peter is also trying to get away from this exploding ship,
Cube.
and he like drops his music player. I'm
Of
like, don't
course.
go back for the music
Stupid
player.
music player.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And then he jumps and he gets caught into space and he begins to crystallize and because it's so cold.
And not just crystallize, he starts to poof up like
Hitch when he got that shellfish.
Yes, allergy. That's what he looked just like.
It was, yeah, and I was like,
I thought they were taking him out.
I can't believe he's dying.
He's gonna die from this stupid Zune player. I mean, it's a failed a failed device.
I mean, he's got music all the way into the 2000s. They're like, when did he get to 2000s? Did I miss that part where he was able to get? Because he hasn't been on.
He didn't get it. Someone gave him who gave him the Zune? I can't
remember.
I think
was it a present?
Yeah, it was a present at the. Yeah. I thought it was at the end of Volume 2. It was a present from Kraglin or from Yondu. Yeah,
I don't know.
And they just got Earth music. They just got Earth music for him. Yeah,
he got it, and then he jumped out, and then Warlock comes and saves him, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh dang, like I felt like this was gonna be like a, I don't know if I wanted Peter to die.
I wouldn't have been mad about it.
But I was just like, I don't know. I think when Warlock brought him, I was like, oh, they're gonna bring him so like all the Guardians can be around him and say their last goodbyes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he just was like, did that look cool?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so he's fine? Like,
what are the death physics in this? Like,
when's the last time you jumped into like a freezing cold lake and got out and not shivering and just said did that look cool? Like, no, cool? You're about to die. No, cool? So I thought that was a little jump in logic there.
Oh, for sure. Like, it was definitely a jump in logic.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I thought
But they had lots of those moments. Like, there were moments when Drax got shot through the body with the laser beams and the big booger biocorp place, and they like did the slow motion, and it was like, no, Drax, and he was like, and then like 5 seconds later, he's like walking. He's just walking normally. I'm like, all right, whatever. They're just. Yeah. I felt like that was like a running gag that James Gunn was just. Is it James Gunn? Am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. James Gunn was just trying to mess with us because he knew we thought someone was going to die, and so he's like, I'm going to make a bunch of fake deaths throughout this whole movie where you think they're going to die and they never do.
Yeah.
That was his shtick. He did well because he faked me out multiple times.
He did. And I love the story arc that I did not see coming with Drax. Like, I can't remember who was saying it. I don't know if it was Gamora or
probably Nebula.
Nebula. She was like, you're not Drax the Destroyer. You're Drax the dad.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh,
all about family.
Yes, the way he communicated and just his lovable, like youthful kind of mentality that he has, like. Yes, of course he would be a good dad.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I mean, when he looked at the little kids and he looked at like one of the little girls, he's like, I had a daughter just like you. And just like connecting with them. And then at the end, of course, dancing with them after all the talk of dancing is for pathetic beings and dancing is stupid. And then he dances right at the end.
Yeah.
It was nice. Very nice. And then Nebula, I thought she had a nice arc too, just showing that she cares about the Guardians and really coming around to just being cool and connecting emotionally with the group. And she had a cool, like, shift-shaping arm.
Wow.
Became a cannon, became a sword. She was like, yeah, Rocket made me a really cool arm. I was like, yeah, you did. That's the coolest arm I've ever seen, where you just think and it turns into stuff. So that was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, was there any other aspects of the movie?
I liked how Rocket, like that at the end where they're all like, hey, we're all going our separate ways kind of thing. Mantis is going to kind of, find out who she is.
Yeah. Off with the battery eating things as her guard.
3 huge things. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
And then Rocket becoming the new captain of the Guardians. I thought that was a really, really good fitting. And seeing the origin story of Rocket it really kind of elevates his story and his character in the other Guardians movies.
For sure.
It really does. And I love how they did that. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is why he acts. This is why he's so smart. This is why he can just take anything and make something, because he has that ability, you know.
Yep.
He just it was just really nice. Like, it was really like he was able to figure out, like, back when he was younger, when he was little, and the High Evolutionary was like, I can't figure out how to stop getting these people mad, or these, angry, when they become full form or whatever. And he's like, all you need to do is just switch this knob, basically
check the rotary girder.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that, and it worked.
How did you know this?
Yeah.
How did you figure that out?
But he's like sitting on the High Evolutionary's lap, and he hears like sounds. He's like, what's this? It's music. He's like, like it was just seeing that, him, just the first part of him learning what music is, was kind of cool. Loved it. I loved Rockets. I love how he was, even though he was like on death's door, he was in the movie so much with his backstory.
For sure.
I loved how they gave him the stage for this movie.
Yeah,
it was really awesome.
And how about the like the last, I think, scenes before they had the showdown with the High Evolutionary, where he stumbles upon the raccoons and he opens up the door and he looks North American raccoons.
Yeah.
And he finally had to admit, dang it, they were right. And then when he calls them 89P13 or whatever, and he's like, it's Rocket Raccoon. And then he shoots him and it's like, yeah, Rocket Raccoon.
Really cool.
Yeah. That was a super cool moment.
Yeah.
And definitely, it's amazing how, and I feel this is the same kind of way they gave really Spider-Man's origin story, to where by the end of No Way Home, you had the OG Spider-Man going, like where he's really alone, and you realize that the 3 movies and everything else he's been up to is the origin story for Spider-Man. And it's the same with Rocket Raccoon. Like, they're giving us the origin story for Rocket Raccoon, because up to this point, he would not admit that he was a raccoon. Mm-hmm. And so he finally admits it, and he becomes the character that we know and love from the comics, and, that people have, he just has such a complete story. I really like that. Mm-hmm. That was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that covers all the major characters.
Yeah, at the end, so in the after credits, Star-Lord sees his grandpa.
He did,
which was
reunites with
again,
grandpa.
All about family. I mean, that even that moment where his grandpa just is reading while he's drinking tea on the veranda, and he just looks up and he's like, Peter, and gets up, and they just
hugs him, and
like, oh, yeah, so good. And then you cut to the after credits, and they're eating cereal, instead of
talking about mowing the lawn,
they're having some cereal, and then it says Star-Lord will return.
The legendary Star-Lord.
The legendary Star-Lord will
return.
And not the Guardians will return.
No,
Star-Lord.
The legendary Star-Lord. So apparently they're cooking up something else just with Star-Lord. I wonder if it'll really be on his own, or if he's going to join up with someone. I don't know. And he's going to be on Earth, so I feel like he's going to do something specifically with the Avengers, or do something with some kind of Earth-based heroes. I don't know. It could go lots of different directions.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised by that. Because
just Star-Lord and not Guardians?
Yeah. I mean, they do, in the other after credits, they show the new Guardians, which is Rocket. It shows like Rocket, Kraglin, Cosmo, Groot.
One of the kids,
which is, so in the comics, the kid is Phyla or something, but she's Mar-Vell's daughter.
Oh, really? Okay.
From Captain Marvel, the mentor to Carol Danvers.
Not Jared Leto. Who's that guy?
Jared Leto.
No, it's not Jared Leto.
Definitely not.
It's not. Whatever the heck his name is.
Well, isn't the woman Mar-Vell?
I thought the guy was Mar-Vell.
That's Jude Law. I think
Jude Law, Jared Leto, Jude Law.
Is he Mar-Vell? I thought the woman was
Mar-Vell. I don't know,
but it's either the lady that I thought Mar-Vell was the one who, like, was Carol Danvers' mentor, the one who was with the cube, with the space cube, whatever it's called, the Tesseract, and then they work together to make that ship that then blows up. She dies because Jude Law's character shoots her. I thought she was Marvel.
She is Marvel. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. So who's Jude Law then?
He's just Jude Law.
Oh, okay.
That's Jude. His name in Jude. Hey, Jude.
That's the song they play every time he's on screen.
Yep, pretty much.
The Beatles.
Yeah, so that little girl in the comics, at least, is Marvel's daughter. But in this, she's just an orphan girl. Yeah. And she has powers, and I didn't quite understand her powers, but it didn't really matter. So
yeah, right.
So yeah, but it's just a cute moment because they're all picking out their favorite music. One person picks Garth Brooks, another picks the Carpenters, and like they go through, and then Rocket picks the song from the very first Guardians that Star-Lord sings to, I think, on the planet. Yeah. And it was a nice little just circle around.
Yeah, it was good. This movie was cool. 2.5 hours long, and it didn't feel like it.
It didn't.
It didn't. And I think that the testament to the story that they told. Like it didn't feel, even though it was 2.5 hours, it didn't feel like there was fluff in it.
No, definitely not.
Which was nice.
Quality material.
Something didn't drag on, or this movie is going to end already. But they just told such a well-crafted story that 2.5 hours was, I think it was a sweet spot for this movie.
Yeah, I agree. It was good stuff. It was well-timed and well-paced.
All right. Anything else?
I liked it a lot. I think at the end too, we'll just note that Groot is huge. Like he's the beefiest looking tree man I've ever seen in my life. Like he is ginormous. And I think if he does show up again, he's definitely just going to be straight up Vin Diesel's voice.
I mean, now that he says, now that he can talk English, I mean,
it's all about family.
I hope if he says that, it'd be the best.
Lose my mind.
My mind. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So,
well,
what would you rate it?
Oh, rating. Yes, I would give it.
Take that pen out, and what would you rate it?
Yeah, let's take that pen out, and I will give it a 9 out of 10 fleshy flash drives.
All right, 9 out of 10. Same here. 9 out of 10.
I'll
give it 9 out of 10. Door handles.
Are they just door handles?
Yeah. Yeah, they're door handles. Remember the scene where
they're flipping door handles?
No, she's trying to open up the door.
Yeah, and he says, "Open the."
Yeah.
They dropped their first.
Yeah, and that was so unnecessary. Why was that?
That was so unnecessary. And from what I read, it was unplanned. It was not in the script. It was just off the cuff, and he just said it, and they left it in. Because why? I don't know why, but whatever.
Are they against doing multiple takes? They get it right the first time.
They're like, every time? But the rest of that was so good. Let's just leave it. Yeah. Right. It was kind of a waste of it. Just, I don't know. Whatever.
It was funny, but
I mean, the whole situation was funny, but it wouldn't have made it any less funny for them to just say, open the freaking
just open door.
The door. Open the door, you.
Yeah.
Anyway. It is what it is. It was that whole time on Counter Earth was pretty funny. Like with Drax, like always wanting to lay down on the couch. And they're like, stop it, sit up. He's like, it's what it's for. It's for multi-purposes.
Slowly.
Yeah, going slowly down. They're like, sit up.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was. All right. Well, as is tradition, quick housekeeping. Lightning speed with Andy's Candies, fluffed pillows, and all that jazz. We're on all the social media stuff. You can find us on Twitter, Discord, Instagram, Facebook. Yes, we're on that. And then there's Twitch streaming. There's YouTube videos. Just click the link, linktree.com/thegmgpod. Okay? We appreciate it. Mm-hmm. You can also call us at 929-GMG guys anytime. Anytime you like, you can call, leave a message, and you will more than likely show up on the show. It would be fantastic if you did. Alrighty then. Pat and myself, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners, go get your good morning this week. And may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game and watch movies. Sorry, I got mixed up which one it was. Okay, bye.